shadow cast across Africa, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we want to call upon Kenyans. I know it is really very overwhelming. We have seen many Kenyans, they have gone to JKIA to receive him. Many Kenyans outside here in Parliament, Mr. Speaker. We want to ask our followers, our constituents, we want to ask Kenyans that let's mourn our hero in peace. Mr. Speaker, for us who were young at that time, when the Honorable Raila was a member of Parliament in this House, he inspired many of us because, especially when he was a Prime Minister and answering questions every Wednesday in this House, Mr. Speaker, how he was tackling those questions, which is affecting Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say we are going to miss the Honorable Raila, and may his soul rest in peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for also allowing me this rare opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to eulogize our friend, our father, our great man, a man whose figure stood like that of a nation. Mr. Speaker, this gentleman who is lying today and who we are eulogizing today was a true enigma. He was a true icon. He was a true fighter for democracy, for constitutional change. Mr. Speaker, I will name all that I know, and all that I know, and all that we know is incomparable to this man who we are eulogizing today, the man Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, Raila Amolo Odinga is synonymous with courage, resilience, and unwavering dedication to the people of this country. Many people have talked about so many things about the great Prime Minister, that he dedicated almost 80% of his life to this country, Mr. Speaker. I think it is only maybe 20% that he dedicated to his personal life. Today, Mr. Speaker, we don't know how to say or what we can say or what we can think that can be enough to eulogize this man. I personally knew the Prime Minister in 2006 when I first started preparing to contest for the Kilgoris constituency seat, and that is when I met him. He took my hand, and from that time, as a Speaker, I never looked back. I worked with him. He taught me so many things. He changed my political course. He inspired me. He made me literally what I am today, Mr. Speaker. Raila Amolo Odinga was my great friend. I contested, I lost, I recontested in a by-election, which of course we also lost, but he stood with me, Mr. Speaker. I remember he had even persuaded to nominate me to this House, Mr. Speaker, a position I declined because of the political temperatures in our constituency at that time. Mr. Speaker, later on, Mr. Speaker, he also appointed me or nominated me to the position of Chair, Poverty Eradication Commission, Mr. Speaker, because of the true friendship and the true patriotism that he had. A position I never served, Mr. Speaker, because of also political issues at that particular time. Mr. Speaker, I stood with this gentleman. And even when I was doing my studies, when I was doing masters at the University of Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, he paid for my fees. He nurtured me. He taught me so many things. Mr. Speaker, I also remember when I was getting married, Mr. Speaker, though it was later in my life, he came. Even despite the temperatures at that particular time, Mr. Speaker, in the Great Rift, he came. And I remember him flying that fly whisk, over my head and my wife while we were tying the knot, Mr. Speaker. Raila was my great friend. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that even as we are remembering this great man, we must remember this country, what this country has gone through, the stages of democracy, elections which have taken place in this country, the names we had even given this gentleman when he was still alive. Today we want to say, Raila Amolo Odinga, may your soul rest in peace. May your family also get peace, even at this time. Because I know, the Speaker, many a times when Raila was alive, when he was contesting, when he lost, and all that, even the family went through so many tribulations. And I believe, even as we rest this gentleman today, the family will also find peace. And our country will also find that happiness which Raila fought for. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker, that I'm a product of this great gentleman. I say, Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga, go well. We will join you at some point. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for Laikipia West, the Honorable Wachira Karani.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also send my condolences to the family of the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. This is a gentleman I really admired. I must admit I've never voted for him, but he's a gentleman I admire. Mr. Speaker, I've vied for 5 consecutive times, starting 2002, 2007, 2013, 2017, and 2022. I've won twice. I've lost 3 times. When I last lost in 2017, I nearly went to depression. But I remembered this gentleman, that he has lost so many times, but he is ever joyful. So he encouraged me for his resilience, and that gave me a lot of encouragement. He was also a lover of sports. I remember in the last concluded CHAN games, I could see Honorable Raila Odinga attending to all the matches that were being played. Even with his advanced age, he would go there very early and remain there until the matches are over. It is for that love for sports that I'm proposing that the newly built Taranta Hera Stadium in Dagoretti be named after Honorable Raila Odinga and be named Raila Odinga Stadium, so that his name can be remembered for very long. Finally, eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him. May he rest in peace. Thank you.
Well said and very well briefed, very brief and to the point. That'll do well. Member for Mavoko.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me rise to eulogize, pay tribute to an enigma, to a nationalist, a person who was selfless, a person who was full of people's interests, a person who bled for this country, a person who suffered for this nation. The freedoms that we are enjoying today were all found and fought for by the late Right Honorable Dr. Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, allow me this morning to thank all members of this House who have seen it fit and understood reasons why we could not continue laying the late Raila Amolo Odinga in state in this House. The love that his people have shown. Mr. Speaker, starting from the airport, you saw how the mourners went even to the aeroplane that was carrying the remains of the late Raila Amolo Odinga. Coming here to Parliament, we had to make a quick decision, which all of you've understood. You saw the way the crowds were building up outside there. And of course, it was going to pose a big threat to this House. So I want to thank you for understanding. But however, allow me, Mr. Speaker, to say Raila Amolo Odinga is one of the people that myself and the people of Mavoko loved. In fact, I want to tell this House, all the final campaigns of 2013, 2017, 2022, the final rallies were done in Athi River and Mlolongo, and they were mammoth. In fact, even himself used to tell me, Mheshimiwa Mavoko, mimi napenda Mavoko. So, on behalf of the people of Mavoko, I want to bring our heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Raila Amolo Odinga, Mama Aida and children. I know the burden is not yours alone, it's for all of us. Right now, it is known my party leader, Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, has stood with Raila Amolo Odinga from 2013, 2017, and 2022. We were there, even despite him not being the running mate. We have supported him. We have always seen Raila as our father. We have seen him as our party leader. And indeed, when we come to this House, from CORD to Asimio to NASA, we've all rallied behind him. And I have seen his true leadership. In fact, it's important for this House to know I am Commissioner courtesy the late Raila Amolo Odinga and my party leader. He is a man who convinced me, in fact, not to run for Machakos County governor, to let it go, then I come to Parliament. And that shows you how he had good negotiating skills, and Raila will never get annoyed at you. He will tell you the truth. He will advise you which position to run for. And I think it all ended up very well. We have seen him in such negotiations through the handshakes he has done with all the presidents that he's done, including Moi, who was seen as one of the most rigid leaders in Africa. But Raila Amolo Odinga cracked him, and he joined KANU at a time when KANU was the only party. We also remember Raila for fighting for multi-party democracy in this country. We will remember him forever for even being the first minister of housing, roads and housing, having designed the southern and northern bypasses in this country. Mr. Speaker, this country, Africa, and the world has lost a hero, a hero, a hero. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Go well, we'll meet again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honorable member for Uriri, followed by the member for Mara. Member for Uriri, the member for Mara. In that order, then the next one on the board is the member for Endabes. It is going to be like that. That's what they're going to be, the way it is. When you get your chance, when your chance comes, you're going to get a chance. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, today is like from yesterday. The country is in mourning. I have a written tribute, and Mr. Speaker, you'll allow me to quickly run through it. Today, Kenya bows its head in sorrow and pride. Raila Amolo Odinga has rested. A mighty chapter of our national story has closed. Yet in grief, we rise to salute a man whose life gave meaning to courage, resilience, and faith in our republic. Mr. Speaker, growing up in high school, we knew of his father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, the lion who once visited my alma mater, Rapogi High School. The people lined by the roadside to catch a glimpse of that great man, as they would during that time for President Moi. When Jaramogi died, our parents, our community were anxious of what would become of the community. Then emerged his son, Raila. His name became a byword, a household name, the only name everyone spoke. At the university, he emboldened a generation. He gave us the courage to question power. Among our students, there was a common word whenever injustice or whatever we thought was injustice, you'd hear the word onge to mean no. was whispered during campus protests. It was enough to stiffen the administration. They knew we would not back down because Raila had our back. He symbolized defiance in service of justice. He was detained without trial, tortured in the dark cells, yet he walked out preaching peace. He carried no bitterness, only conviction that Kenya must be better. He used his suffering to build bridges where others have built walls or would have built walls even then. I first met him around 2013 during his presidential campaign launch. I caught the political bug then. He urged us, the young people, to throw our hearts in the ring. I did. I ran for Migori County Governor during that time. I was unsuccessful, but it lit a fire that still burns. Unlike modern day politicians, Mr. Speaker, who mobilize their followers with tokens and money, Raila gave no handouts. People followed him naturally. They followed the force of his ideas, his sacrifice, and his belief that freedom was a sacred duty. When I later ran for Member of Parliament of Uriri, people told me that for you to get the ODM ticket, you had to pay money. But when I won the nominations, my opponent then took me to the tribunal. He called me a relatively unknown candidate and simply said, if you have won, you get the ticket. I didn't pay a coin. That was Raila. Fair, principled, and allergic to injustice, even in small things. We had our moments after the 2022 elections. I was among the members of the Orange Democratic Party who chose to work with President Ruto. At one point, he invited me for a one-on-one, and he told me, Mheshimiwa Nyamita, the difference between us is that I've been your age, but you've not been my age. He smiled and added, but there are things happening now that did not happen when I was your age. So we must consult both ways. That humility coming from a man who had faced prison, betrayal, and stolen victories taught me that leadership is not about winning arguments, but keeping bridges open. He believed peace was patriotic. He separated the office he sought from the well-being of the country. That is why, even when he believed his victory was stolen, he always made peace. He did it with Moi, he did it with Kibaki, with Uhuru, and even lately with Ruto. He understood that Kenya was always bigger than Raila Odinga. Mr. Speaker,
we'll add you 30 seconds to wind up.
Mr. Speaker, Raila told us nobody can stop reggae. Today, that is not a slogan, it is a sermon. The music must go on. We will make it play through unity, fairness, and courage to speak the truth without malice. Baba is gone. Long live Baba.
Thank you. The member from Mara was next.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And on my own behalf, on behalf of the Mbiuki's family, the entire Mara constituent and Tharaka Nithi County at large, Mr. Speaker, I stand with very heavy heart as we mourn our late former Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, the democratic space we are enjoying today is basically courtesy of the late Raila Odinga. Mr. Speaker, we remember the journey of repealing Section 2A, and Raila Odinga was the most instrumental leader who really pushed during the current time to ensure that Section 2A is repealed, Mr. Speaker. And that is what we're enjoying today. Today we are multi-party democracy, and as we sit here, we will always continue appreciating the role which our former Prime Minister played. Mr. Speaker, I had an opportunity of serving with Raila Odinga when he was the Prime Minister after the 2007 general election. By then, Mr. Speaker was the Assistant Minister for Agriculture. And Mr. Speaker, during that time, it is through his effort and that of our late President Mwai Kibaki that we started the farm input subsidy, be it fertilizer, Mr. Speaker, and also in distribution of farm input, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I remember during the 10th Parliament, by that particular time I was representing the Lanja Nidi constituency, we had a very bad accident near Nidi Branch, whereby almost 10 people from Medero community, we lost 10 people from one community. And it is Raila Odinga who came to our aid. He gave the community the support, and actually he attended the mass burial which we had at Medero that particular time. Mr. Speaker, that's the man whom we are celebrating today. Mr. Speaker, Raila Odinga was a peacemaker. Even after several contentious elections from 2007, where he had an handshake with Mwai Kibaki and he became the Prime Minister, come 2013, Mr. Speaker, he still had an handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta in 2017. And currently, Mr. Speaker, this country, it is enjoying the fruit of the broad-based government. And that is Raila Odinga for you. Mr. Speaker, Raila Odinga was a pillar of political stability in this country. And I would really like us as political leaders to emulate him, continue preaching peace, even the time of difficulties, Mr. Speaker. His ability to build bridges among bridges in political divide, Mr. Speaker, is what actually, Mr. Speaker, should be able to guide us. Even under extremely very difficult circumstances, Mr. Speaker, we have seen the late Raila Odinga coming up in a very powerful way. Mr. Speaker, Raila Odinga has been standing for the peace of this country, even under the extreme circumstances, especially after the Gen Z revolution, Mr. Speaker. Gen Z came, Raila Odinga could have taken advantage of that situation and continue being on the other side of the divide. But he decided to have an handshake with His Excellency, the President William Ruto, and the country has been able to stabilize. And up to and including today, Mr. Speaker, we have seen other leaders, other political party leaders also joining hands with His Excellency, the President, so that this country can be able to go far, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish on my own behalf once again to continue praying for Raila Odinga and his family. And more so, we put Mama Aida Odinga in prayers together with the children, because it is not easy. We know they are going through a lot, and through the prayer, through our own support, the family will continue well. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, sir, once again, poleni kwa familia, and let's emulate all the attributes of our late Raila Odinga. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Member for Endebess.
Honorable Speaker, on my own behalf and that behalf of the great people of Endebess, I want to send my condolence to the family of the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, to his children, to his wife, and to my colleague, Honorable Ruth Odinga, who is a member of the Budget and Appropriation Committee. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Raila Odinga was a great man. I got to travel with him, with Honorable Mule Mutinda, member, and Honorable Mwadime, the current governor for Taita. We went together to Morocco, to a place called Dakhla. While we were there, Honorable Speaker, at one stage, you know, Kenya does not, at that time, does not support Morocco's occupation of Western Sahara. So at that time, the clerk even tried to recall us that you are joining the leader of opposition to go to a place where the government does not support. Myself and Honorable Mule and Mwadime, we decided that we'll decline that return. So we went with the Honorable Raila to Dakhla. And Honorable Speaker, he proved to us that he's a great man. because during that meeting, most of his address was for the interests of the Republic of Kenya. That was around 2015. Even when we came back after spending about 10 days together in the Western Sahara, he was on a first class. But when we landed in Dubai, he decided that he was not going to sit in the first class lounge. He was coming to sit with us in the business class, just to enjoy our company. You can recall, Honorable Speaker, that is humility. A humble guy who is of that status. Because during that meeting in Dakar, he was the chief guest together with Reverend Jesse Jackson. And Honorable Speaker, when you look at the history of the enigma Raila Odinga, he sacrificed a lot for this country. Many people have made careers from his support. Many people have made also careers from opposing him, using his name. Today, a great man rests, Honorable Speaker. It is a history in this country. Some of us, when we were young at the university, we got to interact briefly with the late doyen of opposition politics, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. But I would want to say that Honorable Raila Odinga has actually surpassed some of that level. He's lived beyond many expectations. A man who is humble, down to earth, and somebody who loved his country more than even his life. Fare thee well, Honorable Raila Odinga. May you live in eternal peace. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Sunkuli.
Mr. Speaker, today we are paying tribute to a compatriot, a fellow citizen of this country who has lived, indeed, and served on many, many fronts, a political figure with many abilities. He had abilities for fighting and had abilities for making peace. I was elected in 1992 to the first multi-party house in this country, if you may discount the first periods of after independence. And the Honorable Raila Odinga was elected member of parliament at the same time. We served together from 1992 when he came in as a member of Ford, and later on he had to face another re-election because they changed parties to the NDP. Mr. Speaker, I have not sat on the same side with Honorable Raila for a long time, other than the last elections, which has placed me on this side of Azimio where he was leading. Most of the times, I was sitting on the other side. When I was a minister, I used to answer questions that he asked. And one of the things that I still remember very well was when the Honorable Raila asked me a question about provincial administration. To the effect, is the minister aware? And I stood there and said, no, the minister is not aware. And then he tabled a document which disarmed me, because in my own thinking, that document was very, very confidential. But the Honorable Raila had a way to get even the most confidential of things in the government. We were, of course, ministers of another great man called Moi, to whom Raila was his opposition. But I can attest, Mr. Speaker, that even as he lived in opposition, he was always very objective, We were all men of principle in our own way. But he rose to greatness mainly because of the view that he had, the kind of people he represented, the population that he represented, and the steadfastness, the persistence in coming into this house and winning elections kept him to grow higher and higher. At one point, Mr. Speaker, we joined the same political party with the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. He came to KANU, and of course that became the strategy that ultimately destroyed KANU. Mr. Speaker, I saw it with my own eyes because in the short time when things were good, I took the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga to Kilgoris, to a place called Angata, to go and perform a harambe for a dormitory, which still stands up to now, a laboratory, sorry. And after that, Mr. Speaker, I tried to get him to sleep in Kilgoris. But no, that was not the only function he had. And those days were not the helicopter days of now. Raila moved on and went to Kabarak and had a very strong discussion with Moi. And within a short time, Mr. Speaker, he was our Secretary General. And when disagreement came, which I still believe was his main strategy, he moved away with a substantial number of our party people, being Saitoti, Kalonzo, and other people who we never thought would move. I don't know whether you would add me a second, So, Mr. Speaker, I was requesting for 1 more minute because it's turning red.
You'll get 30 seconds more.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. So, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga was great in many ways. Of course, he was the face of the opposition. Does that... of course, he was the face of the opposition in Kenya. But the Kenyans will always remember him for being a man who played many roles. He was on this stage. As Shakespeare says, this world is but a stage. We all have our entry as well as our exit. Now Raila came, played his many roles. He entered into the world, and fortunately, he has to exit, like all of us have to do. Fare thee well. Kenya will miss you.
Thank you. Member for Njoro.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think you'll be adding me another 1 minute.
On the list,
Mr. Speaker, sir.
I told you this will not happen. So the list I have, the next person to speak is member for Limuru, then Igembe North, then Tigania West, then Barak West, in that order. And I can assure you, it will remain that way. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Allow me to join fellow Kenyans. I'm representing Joro constituency people from Nakuru County. Allow me to give my sincere condolences for the loss of this great man, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, sir, as Raila today rests, I think I remember one great thing he has done for this country is humility. He is the father of democracy in this country. And I wish to sincerely say that Kenya has lost a great man, a man who humbled himself when Kenyans needed such a man who humbled himself and joined His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto to unite this country and to ensure that there is peace. And Mr. Speaker, sir, the Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers. Today we want to remember this great man who has left this country united and the country with a lot of peace. For us to celebrate Honorable Raila today, we must celebrate him in a very special way. That he is a greater man who has made all of us to have a peaceful country up to now. I think my humble request to all Kenyans, let us celebrate this hero with a lot of peace and ensure that there's also peace, love, and unity in this country. I also want to take some time to pray for our mom, Ida Raila, and tell her that we pray for her, that God will give her a lot of strength. May God protect the family and our children. I know it is the worst moment right now, Speaker, for Ida. And I'm speaking myself as Member of Parliament, who has also gone through a lot of pain when I lost my husband through leukemia. Therefore, today I take this moment to pray for this humble lady, Ida, so that God can make her stronger, so that she can continue with her life and to make the children for Raila to be more stronger. For all of us, let us take the best readings we have gotten from Raila, the man who also fought for devolution in this country. Let us try to pick the best things Mheshimiwa Raila has done for this country. Kwa sisi wote wa Kenya, tunaomboleza na tunasema Mungu aweke Honorable Raila mahali pema. Asante sana, Bwana Speaker.
Member for Limuru. Members, if you could do 3 minutes each, under amendment, we could have probably another, because I would be extending a few minutes so that we can get more.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity. Let me take this opportunity to give my condolences to the family of Right Honorable Raila, from my family and the great people of Limuru. The life of Honorable Raila has been given, and for me, I have learned and have thanked God for him being a gift to Kenya. I see him as one person that we can learn a lot about forgiveness, because in his life, he has honestly forgiven many who even did bad things to him. The other thing, Mr. Speaker, is his capacity to be able to tolerate. Even when people have called him all sorts of things, he has always been clear as to what he is focused, and in particular, his love for this nation. I also note one other thing that is special to him, the fact that he can be able to reconcile with people of divergent beliefs or convictions, and one person who has actually demonstrated this in this country. But let me also say that this is one person. As an engineer, I met him when I was a student, and he was at the University of Nairobi. And I followed his engineering career to when he was in the Kenya Bureau of Standards. Mr. Speaker, this is one person who also believed in Kenya, that Kenya can actually grow itself. He even went to start an industry, the Spectre, where he went to do and to produce in this country something that people never thought it could be produced, all the gas cylinders in this country. This is one person who believed that we have a capacity to grow our industry. So as an engineer, and I speak on behalf of many of the engineers who have passed this house, and even to my professional colleagues out there, we have lost somebody who we are looking up to, because he is one person not only took his ideas about infrastructure development in Kenya, but also the rest of this Africa continent. He believed that we can open up the various roadblocks that we have created between the countries and have major infrastructure crossing all over the African continent so that this continent can grow. For this nation, I remember not long ago, he talked about the need to address the issues of JKIA. And today, when I was looking at this airport, when we were receiving his body, I felt that if there was something that we need to do, is to make JKA, the Right Honorable Raila wanted to see. Make sure that JKA becomes the hub of the East African region, and that we do not need to be number 3, behind Addis or Kigali. So for me, he's a man who had vision for developing not only this country, Kenya, but the region. And one that, if there is something we can learn, is that he was not a tribalist. He did not want to play the kingmanship, but he believed that as a nation, we can live together and we can develop this country together. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. The Honorable Naomi Wako, then the Honorable Taitimu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to give my tribute on behalf of Marsabit people and on my own behalf. Honorable Speaker, it's a sad day because we've lost a great leader, somebody whom we have known as Baba, and many people have associated with him. Many have worked with him, and known as freedom fighter, known as reformist, and also the role he played in this nation as opposition leader, who had great following. Honorable Speaker, this morning I went to Jomo Kenyatta Airport just to be part of the team that will receive the body. And the crowd I saw there, I think will remain in my mind. They were very emotional, very energetic, and you could see the passion. And I said, if this is what the late Honorable Raila has built over the years, the commitment, the love, and the passion you could see on the people who are there this morning to receive the body, beside the president, the executive, the dignitaries, the common mwananchi. We had big number that was uncontrollable. That demonstrated the love that Kenyans have for the late Prime Minister. A serious politician, a very patriotic person, and demonstrated the love he had for the country by working with all the presidents. Our president, William Samoei Ruto, is the 5th president, but he has worked even with all the others, just because he cared and he cares about this great nation. He has shaped our politics. He has mentored politicians. He has sacrificed for this nation. And that is why today everyone is shedding tears, and we are all in the same situation and praying very hard that God will comfort his family. Honorable Speaker, a very influential man who connected well with many politicians, who connected well with many international leaders, and a great leader who until his death demonstrated his leadership, passion, and love for his country. For sure, as a nation, we have lost a great leader. But we know very well, as the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 7, that there is time for everything. There's time to be born and to be buried. There is time for celebration and to mourn. And today, it is our time as a nation to mourn the passing on of a great leader. A great leader who will not only be missed by Kenyans, but by entire world. Honorable Speaker, it is my prayer that we will give him a good send-off and that Kenyans will give him that respect without much distraction and give him the respect that he deserves. I send my condolences to his wife, our dear mom, Aida, to his daughter, Winnie, to Raila Odinga Jr., to Rosemary, to Akinyi, to Ruth, our colleague, and my prayers are with them. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one on the list was Honorable Member for Igembe North, Honorable Taitumi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me take the cue on my own behalf and on behalf of the people of Igembe to tender my hearty condolences to the family of Odinga, the President, and the fellow Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, Kenya's post-independent history cannot be complete without the name of Raila. This is a person who has fought for almost the entire life to make sure that the Kenyan people enjoys the democracy that is envisaged in our constitution. Mr. Odinga has fought to make sure that devolution works in this country. Mr. Odinga's life and fight for democracy can only be equated to the life and the struggles of Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, his struggle against Calabar, racial segregation commonly known as apartheid in South Africa. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, the entire country was engulfed by a dark cloud when the news of passing on of the great Kenyan, the Honorable Raila Odinga, was announced. This is a clear testimony of the ideals that Raila stood for. Despite losing in several elections, whereby he contested to be the president of this country, Mr. Raila Odinga made sure that this country remains united. At no particular time did he lose direction to tear this country apart. Mr. Raila Odinga was never tribal. Even Lucy, he did not condemn any community having caused its defeat. In 2007, whereby this country witnessed a great upsurge and the fight that came up after the announcement of President Kibaki as the winner, Raila could not let the country go to the drains. This is a man who walked his talk. When he said something, he did not mind how many people were against it. He stood for what he believed in. And I would pray that his passing on fortifies this country so that the country remains united, the country remains stable, and without equivocals that are caused by tribal divisions. We are eulogizing a great man, a patriot, a person whose political interest transcends other things other than the interest of Kenya. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Member for Regania West. And he'll be followed by...
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to eulogize with the family, the friends, the relatives, even the ODM fraternity, and the entire country.
Order. Members who are leaving, I just want to make a ruling that for members who have logged in, don't remove your card so that when you see in the afternoon, you don't have to queue back again. I think that would make a lot of sense. Because
thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Order. And members, the reason this happened is that we came in and logged in at the same time in the morning. So that's why, you see, some of us have sat since 10. because we log in at the same time and we have to follow the list. So I'll allow the Honorable Mutunga, then 2 more, then we can close for the morning session.
Honorable Speaker, I stand to eulogize with the family of the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, his dear wife, his daughters, and the son, Honorable Speaker, our colleagues, Ruth, who is in my committee, and also the brother, Senator Oburu Odinga, and others, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also know that many Kenyans are affected. The members of the ODM party are affected. The lovers of democracy in this country are seriously affected because Raila has been a great pillar in fight for democracy. Honorable Speaker, to all of us, we have learned many lessons. We have learned courage as a lesson where Raila Amolo Odinga is concerned. The Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has been a beacon of hope for many of us in this country. He has spearheaded many courageous fights. He has spearheaded the fight for democracy and the scrapping of Section 2A of the Constitution then. Honorable Speaker, but Raila has been a great man who has fought for this country, not only for democracy, Honorable Speaker, he was at the forefront in fighting for the Constitution. Kenya today enjoys about the best Constitution in Africa, which has really exposed our people to living the lives of the 21st century. Honorable Speaker, were it not for him, I don't think we would have achieved it in the time we did achieve that particular Constitution. Honorable Speaker, in that Constitution, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga made sure that the rights are properly captured. The chapter on rights and fundamental freedoms is very articulate and very detailed. The issue of the right to association, the right to freedom of expression, and many other freedoms have been very well articulated in the Constitution. And he is one of the people who have even demonstrated in this country that people need to be heard. Honorable Speaker, in all the cases that the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga lost as a presidential candidate, he chose peace. He chose to negotiate. He never chose to throw this country into trouble. He never chose the war, any other, solution to such problems. He chose to negotiate. And since he's been negotiating, we need to learn as leaders, when we make inflammatory statements and try to bring our people against others, we need to know that Kenya is a unitary state. It is indivisible. This is where we all live, and this is where we shall all live, and this is where our great children and great-grandchildren will live. And therefore, we need to maintain it as a country where everyone feels comfortable to live as a Kenyan. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga was also in the forefront in the fight for devolution. He has helped uphold devolution because the idea is to try and even out the development. And it's upon realization that certain parts of this country were not accessing development because they were not in the top echelons of leadership of the country. The present war that Raila Amolo Odinga was fighting, which is enshrined in the NADCO report, is the war on the fidelity of the political parties. And this is a war that needs to be fought, and we need to remember that it is a war that needs to be won as well. Finally, Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the President for considering that Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga deserves he deserves a state funeral. This is a deserving man. He's been the first, prime minister in this country, and therefore he has lived at the top. Even if he has never been the president, he has been the greatest support to all presidents of this country. And in that case, Honorable Speaker, he really deserves to be given a state funeral. And that is why most of the Kenyans today are mourning. We all are mourning because we have lost a great man, we have lost a great hope for this country, and his loss has left a huge gap. This, we need to pray that it may be filled correctly. Honorable Speaker, with those very few remarks, I wish to pray that the soul of Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga rests in eternal peace.
Thank you. We'll have the member for Bureti, then we'll close the member for Seme this morning.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to join Kenyans and the members here, and on behalf of the people of Bureti, wish to convey our condolences and to the people of Kenya, particularly the family of the late Raila Amolo Odinga, the people of Kisumu, the ODM fraternity, and the rest of the world. We join in mourning and speak of the great things Raila Amolo Odinga has done, not only in advancing the democracy and the democratic space in the country, but also in the improving and in the holding together of a nation. In times of crisis, Raila Amolo Odinga has stood with the side of history for progress and for the people so that we can remain together as a nation. Today, Honorable Speaker, is a sad day for the country. And knowing this, we want to stand together as a nation and remember the work that he has done, to further the work that he has done in peace building, in bridges building, and in also making sure that this nation remains as one unitary state. One of the great legacies Raila Amolo Odinga has left is a unified country. You may recall, Honorable Speaker, that at the death of the Jaramogi Odinga, the opposition was such a strong movement in this country. The Luo Nyanza remained in the opposition until the coming of Raila Amolo Odinga. And one of the great legacies he has done, he has left the people of the Luo Nyanza in government and brought the nation together, and the party of ODM joining together with UDA and the Kenya Kwanza government to advance the prosperity, the peaceful coexistence, the unitary state of Kenya, and making sure that we all move together as a nation. It will be remembered also that Raila Amolo Odinga is the only leader who has been able to remain faithful, forthright, and focused in having the nation move along. He has joined hands with his nemesis for the sake of the nation. He has stood strong against the tide of corruption and made sure that this nation moves on. He has remained focused to see that development in all parts of this country remains as the mainstream idea that propels and compels us and put us together in the vision. You will recall that the crafting of the Vision 2030, Raila Amolo Odinga was part of the team that put together that Vision 2030. We are almost achieving it. We are not yet there, but we know those who believe in democracy, like ourselves, those who believe in freedom, like ourselves, those who believe in devolution, like ourselves, those who believe in the focusing of our energies and concentrating our forces to be able to move this country forward is the greatest thing. Now we call upon all and sundry that we may come together in this moment, not only to look at the vision that he had, but also at the ideas that he held dearly. The convictions of free speech, the idea of democratic space being opened up, and the people of Kenya coming together to not only celebrate his life, but also to reflect upon the days of his life and see what manner of man he has been, what manner of a leader he has remained, and what manner of a person that he stood for. We will miss him, but we know his ideals lives on. And on that end, we know we join together with the President of the Republic, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, that moving forward, we will remain focused, we will remain steadfast, we will remain a people and a nation under God, and we know that we will remain as a nation together moving forward. Raila is dead, but Baba lives on. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nyikal, finally for the morning session.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I sadly rise on behalf of myself, my family, and most importantly, the people of Seme, to pass my condolences to the family of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. To pass my condolences to the people of Kenya for the loss of the best president we never had. a leader who truly stood for democracy, a leader who wholeheartedly loved the people of Kenya, a leader who truly believed that the sole purpose of acquiring power is to improve the lives of the people, a leader who believed that power emanates from the people. For all this, he was detained for 8 years. For this, he sacrificed his ambitions more than once, or even victory, to work with his political enemies, as if they never fought bitterly before those victories or losses. For this, he spearheaded and worked for devolution, which when, and I'm not saying if, when implemented as he visioned, will make a great change in the people's lives. The people of Kenya will benefit. Raila truly respected and cherished people's lives. I saw him cry when people died during his homecoming. In 2007, when the people died, he went for the handshake. After his homecoming, when people died, in 2007, he went for the coalition government when people were dying. When people died during his homecoming, again, he went for the handshake. He truly lived for the welfare of the people of Kenya. May God rest his soul in eternal peace.
Members who are queued to speak next, and I can see you in the house. Please just come on time so that you're not skipped. I can see the Honorable Richard Yegon, Parashina, all the way down through Honorable Waida. Just come on time so that when your name is called in the afternoon, because we don't want to skip anybody in the afternoon again. Thank you so much. All members, and the time now being 1